Hello, Assalamualaikum, and a very pleasant evening to everyone. The topic for today's presentation is financial innovation of AuthStar software. This financial innovation is created due to the increase in cybercrime and cybersecurity threats globally during pandemic 2020. I would like to introduce my team members and I. My name is Muhammad Shakalit. This is Shamilia Nur Azizi, Siti Norliana, Shahira Sirojuddin, Ashika Nabiha, and Sufia Arisha. The current issues in finance is cybercrime and cybersecurity threats showed up globally during pandemic 2020. Let's start the presentation with a little bit exposure on what is cybercrime and cybersecurity threats. Cybercrime is the criminal activities carried out by means of computers or the internet. Cybersecurity is the protection of computer systems and networks from the theft or damage to their software, hardware, or electronic data, as well as from misdirection or disruption of the services they provide. Threat is a possible danger that might exploit a vulnerability to breach security and therefore cause possible harm. Let's move on to slide number 3. According to Baker McKenzie law firm's article written on 18 June 2020, COVID-19 has led to an immense increase in online business dealings and transactions, catapulting the world headfirst into the fourth industrial revolution. This rapid migration into the world of virtual deal-making, however, has also caused a constant rise in instances of cybercrime, with criminals using techniques such as authorized push payment fraud, APP fraud, to steal large sums of money from unsuspecting individuals and entities, including investors. According to voanews.com, the UN disarmament chief said that the COVID-19 pandemic is moving the world toward increased technological innovation and online collaboration, but warned that cybercrime is also on the rise, with a 600% increase in malicious emails during the current crisis. The financial sector is vulnerable and incurring huge losses from cybercrimes. In most cases, the hackers are looking to acquire personal or sensitive data on individuals, information they can then sell on the dark web. Based on jakartapost.com, IBM, International Business Machines Corporation, advises tighter cybersecurity in new remote work era, that is post-pandemic era. Survey conducted by PricewaterhouseCoopers shows that Indonesian banks have considered cybersecurity threats as the biggest risk to the industry since 2018, and that it will be the major risk to digital banking for the next 2 to 3 years. With the crisis of COVID-19, the problem of cybercrime and cybersecurity threats is getting worse. Based on the issues of cybercrime and cybersecurity threats, our group members have come out with one innovation that could strengthen the security for online banking users, hence reduce the cybercrime. The innovation is called AuthStar software. This will be explained by Sufia Arisha, but before we continue with that, Shahira will present some facts and statistical data on cybercrime and cybersecurity threats. Thank you.
Thank you, Anaki. Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shahira binti Sirojuddin. Today, I would like to present fact and statistical data on cybercrime and cybersecurity. First, I will present on statistics and market data on cybercrime. First is the biggest online data breach compromised more than 130 million user of account. Second is the number of data breach in the US increased from 157 million in 2005 to 1.47 billion in 2019, while the number of exposed record jumped from around 67 million to 164.7 million. Third is, in 2018, identity theft account for more than 65% of all global data breach and about 40% of all compromised records that year. Four is financial access data theft is the third most common type of data breach, accounting for 13% of all data breach. 5. Global cybercrime costs on average 18.37 million US dollar annual loss for the financial services industry. Next is cybercrime. In 2019, 93.6% of malware detected was only seen on a single PC. Almost 50% of business PC and 53% of consumer PC that got infected once were reinfected within the same year. Malicious hackers are now attacking computers and networks at a rate of one attack every 39 seconds. More than two-thirds of IT security professionals believe a successful cyber attack is imminent in 2020. As you can see from the graph, year 2020 is the highest, whereby 80.7% cyber attack is recorded. Next is data breach. The biggest data breach as of April 2020 was in 2018, where it happened at sales intelligence company Apollo. During that, over 9 billion data points related to companies and organizations were reviewed. Based on the charts given, the number of data breach and the number of exposed records in the US have reached the highest figure in 2018. Nearly 471 million records were exposed, whereas the number of data breach added up to 1,257 in 2018. Ransomware. The increase in downtime was driven by a higher prevalence of attacks against larger enterprises who often spend weeks fully remediating and restoring their system. In 2018, enterprise ransomware increased by 12%, accounting for 81% of all successful ransomware infections. The number of new mobile ransomware Trojans increased slightly in 2019 versus 2018, but decreased over the course of 2019. Phishing emails, lack of training, and weak password are some of the top causes of ransomware attacks. Global statistics. Cybercrime cases during COVID-19. According to the chart, in January, Google registered 149,000 active phishing websites, whereas in February it doubled to 293,000. In March, the number increased by 350% at 522,000. The application BlackNet Red promised to protect the user device from coronavirus, but instead it breached the computer security and takes control of the computer, effectively enabling the criminal to remotely control it. In the United Kingdom, an increase in scam and attacks targeting business has also been witnessed. For instance, emails pretending to relate to the government new grant scheme have stolen money or downloaded ransomware. Last but not least, statistics in Malaysia. Cybersecurity cases rise by 82.5%. Cybersecurity cases in Malaysia have spiked by a whopping 82.5% during MCO compared to last year, where the total of 838 incidents were reported on March 18 and April 17. From the total, 80% or 152 cases involved local companies, while the rest were home users and others. It is a jump from 459 cases reported in 2019. Organizations also being targeted for larger scale attacks, whereby the attacker seeks to make services or resources unavailable to intended users. Other threats faced by organizations are spam, spear phishing emails targeting individuals within the organization to obtain data or interrupt the organization system. Thank you. Next, I will pass to Sophia to present the next slide.
Thank you, Shahira. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Sofia Arisha binti Muharram. Alright, as was explained by Shahira on the fact and statistic for the issue on cybercrime and cybersecurity threats pushed up during the world facing health issue, which is pandemic COVID-19. Today, cyber threats in the modern days is almost exclusively used to describe information security matters, because it's hard to visualize how digital signals traveling across a wire can represent an attack. A cyber attack is an attack that is mounted against us, which is our digital devices by means of cyberspace. The threats are growing more serious, so we have developed financial innovation to provide solutions on the issue highlighted, which is called AuthStar. The words of AuthStar refers to online authentic start. The added value to users is builds more confidence, strengthens security, remove fear and worry, and peace of mind value. This innovation could help online banking users to secure their accounts from being hacked and scammed by someone. As current practice, users have their own password to log in into their account. Sophisticated technology nowadays is very harm to us, as people can detect our data, which means data breaches. In order to strengthen our personal data, all outstars could help to secure someone's accounts from cyber threats. Alright, what is the solution for this issue? We have come out with financial innovation, which is called AuthStar, that is a software that offers more secure method of authentication to make payment for online banking users. It is require multiple factor authentication from users to access to financial services. The step required is more than current practice, which are the users have to log in by usernames and passwords, and we have come up with innovation on face recognition and thumbprint, and then they can proceed their transaction with TAC numbers. Next, it is available for all types of banks that will redirecting on their websites when users do online payment. Every time a user do new authentications, all data will be erased permanently. Face recognition and fingerprint can be identified at the first step when a user is doing authentication, and the bank will keep the data for security. It's also applicable to digital devices such as mobile phones, tab, laptop, and iPad, and others that have face recognition and fingerprint scanner. And the last one, user no need to register, only need to update your mobile bank apps, and bank will recognize the data, which are face recognition and thumbprint, once you make online transaction by it. Alright, so what is the difference between face recognition and thumbprint that we have come out in financial innovation for this issue? Face recognition is scanning the user's face to proceed with transaction. It also ensures that the account is handled by the account holder. And last, thumbprint recognition, it can be accessed once face recognition successfully verified. That's all from me. I will pass to next presenter, Shamila Nur Azizi, to proceed with this presentation on feasibility and practicality of AuthStars. Thank you.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you, Pia. Hi, my name is Shamila Nur Azizi, and today I would like to continue the presentation with the function of the product. Today, I would like to tell you guys about our product and the function of it. As you guys know, AuthStar that have been created by us is to solve the problem of the cybersecurity and cybercrimes that have been detected for many years. In this product, AuthStar has been created for practically and feasibility for the user. As you guys know, practically is something that well known as a concern with the actual doing or use of something rather than with the theory and ideas. Below the definition is the kind of stages or steps that have been used by the user to log in into an account. For example, first, the user need to log in with the username and password as usual as a current practice, which is we need to have a set up username and password to have an account. Before we go to the second or third step, the user need to go through for the face identification to ensure that the username is linked with the owner. As for you guys information, you have to know that if the face identification didn't detect the real face that have been used by the owner, so the user cannot proceed to the next step. This new innovation make the step more strict in order to make the verified to only the owner. After the user can log in successfully into their account, the user can do any activities such as transfer the money or checking the balance. For example, if the user want to transfer the money immediately, so they need to do the another step, which is thumbprint. As far as you guys know, most of the mobile phone today may have this thumbprints kind of application. But then, if the user use the laptop, tab or computer to use this kind of software, they need to have the fingerprint reader. If they didn't have any fingerprint reader, they can claim directly to the bank. For example, Encik Abu making some transaction and checking balance into the account. For a certain part, Encik Abu may put some amount to give or transfer the money to another account. After Encik Abu successfully entered any amount to be transferred to the third party, Encik Abu need to request a code which can be sent directly to his phone number. And after that, Encik Abu need to put the code into the term and condition, which is this code may ensure that the transaction may doing very successfully after that. This code shows that the last step of the journey by entering this account, which may installed by the bank, so that this kind of software may protect all the users from being hacked. I'm done with the first function of the product, which is practical. Second, we go for the feasibility. As you guys know, feasibility is something that convenient have been used by the user in whatever condition that have been made face. And from the stages above that have been discussed just now, we know that there is a 5 step that the user need to apply during the login into the account. But then, if you guys can predict that these stages or steps may kind of like really strict, but this kind of strict may lead to a better and protection to the user. AuthStar demand the user to keep updated with the fastest and new technology so that they can do the work better. AuthStar did give brilliant experience from the process in making it straight to protect the user in order to face the cybercrimes and cybersecurity without giving any chances. Last but not least, this kind of software that have been installed by the bank can do anywhere, anytime, and any places. So that's all for the function of the product that I need to highlight for today. I will pass this presentation to the next presenter, which is Liana.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nurlela binti Johari. First of all, thank you to the previous presenter, which is Shamelia. Now I will proceed the presentation on how it may add value on current practices. The first point is improve the brand identity and reputations. When personal data has been exposed or stolen, consumer feels betrayed. This because consumer believe that any company that collect their personal data has responsibility to protect it. Most of the current practices were not able to protect data, such as Australian Bank, which is PNN Bank, whereas a data breach occurred during server upgrade. With AuthStar, a privacy violation will never happen as it is able to protect the financial data safely through its multiple factor authentications. This is how AuthStar improves its reputation as the consumer trusts it as the platform to perform online transactions. The second point is strengthen security. All data will be erased permanently to avoid it from being exploited by the hackers. The data will be erased right after the transaction done by the user. If the user need to make another transaction, they need to pass all the authentication stage again. This is very much secure than the current practices that store personal data, which data breaches can occur anytime through cyber attacks. For the next slide, I will discuss with you point number 3, which is build more confidence for online transaction. The consumer will be more confident in the internet as an alternative means of shopping or other online transactions. This is because the AuthStar will always ensure the safety of consumer privacy and information by adding fingerprint and face scanning to avoid identity theft or hacking that always happen while using the current practice. With the presence of fingerprint and face scanning, it strengthens the security of users better than current practice. Hence, it will make the user feel more confident to perform online transactions. Point number 4 is reduce fear and worry. The AuthStar, with its multiple factor authentications, will stop others, especially the hackers, to track the user's online activity in order to get their historic data. As a result, this will reduce fear and worry of the user if they want to hold big amount of money at the bank because the chances to be hacked is very low. For this slide, I will explain to you point number 5, which is reduce the cybercrime cases. The cases of cybercrime in Malaysia is quite challenging nowadays, which include Macau scam, love scam, e-financial fraud, and also e-purchase online. The AuthStar could reduce the cybercrime cases as the procedure to perform online transactions are more strict than the current practices. The user must be past all the stages of the authentication to log in, which is username, password, face identifications, thumbprint, and also TAC number. Unlike the current practice, it only have username, password, and TAC number. Generally, cybercrime occur because of poor authentications system and weak password. That's all from me. I will pass the presentations to the next presenter, Ashika, to proceed. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Liana. My name is Nur Ashika Nabiha binti Nur Izham. Now, we will proceed with the last slide, which is conclusion. In conclusion, there are many benefits to people when using AuthStar software. By using this software, we can reduce the current issue on internet about cybercrime and cybersecurity threats that shoot up globally during pandemic 2020. We have come up with more new innovation to make the software more secure, which can fully protect our users without having problems such as leak information or losing their account. Introducing this software greatly enhance security and reduce the risk of identity theft. This is because we make it triple security, which take quite long process that start with enter their username and passwords, followed by face recognition, thumbprint, and lastly TAC numbers. We believe by using our software or AuthStar, the issue on cybercrime and cybersecurity during pandemic 2020 can be reduced. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.